one of our Juniper routers, JR1. Let's just jump into config mode. As ever, configure private's our best practice. Make sure nobody else is editing a candidate with us. So you can see right now at the top of the prompt we have our banner reminding us that we're right at the top of that configuration tree. If I type show right now, I don't need anything after show. Show is, because of my context, because I'm sat there at the top of the config tree, going to display the entire candidate configuration. So remember, once we've gone into config mode, we've effectively copied the running config, and that copy is now the candidate file we're seeing on screen. So we've got our system hierarchy, and lots of stuff we'd expect: host names, root password, other users, what ports and services are we listening on. We've got our web GUI enabled, telnet, SSH, and lots of other stuff. Interface config. I'm running an SRX here, so I've put it in packet mode, so it's behaving as a layer 3 router. You get the idea. Right from the top, we can see everything: statics, protocols, so on. If I navigate down deeper into the configuration tree, we said that to move around the config tree, we can think of the edit command as something similar to CDing in a file system. So if we edit protocols, OSPF, then we're going to jump into this hierarchy here. So there's our banner updated, reminding us right now any command we give is in the context of that protocol OSPF hierarchy. If we rerun that show command, so just show on its own again, we're seeing now the contents of the hierarchy we're in. So we're sat parked at protocols OSPF. So showing that, the candidate is going to give us our area 0 and whatever other good stuff we've got configured in there. If I go back up to the top, so if we just hit, if we run top as a command, hit enter, we see we jump up from wherever we were parked, protocol OSPF in this case, right to the top of the tree. I can achieve what we've just done a second ago, maybe a different way. So instead of editing down, instead of like we said, CDing almost, or moving the context of the configuration, we could say show protocol OSPF. If I can type. So that show command, let's just run it again, a bit cleaner there. We can see that was executed from the top of the tree, and we're basically saying, yeah, I don't want to see everything. I don't want to just show the candidate. I want to show some specific part of the candidate. That's not really that different from doing edit protocol OSPF and then show. I mean, there are two ways to achieve exactly the same thing, but it's handy to know that we can, without moving context, choose to analyze specific parts of the configuration. This is particularly helpful when we have very large chunks of config that we're working on. Or maybe I'm doing lots of work here in OSPF. I'm going to add several more interfaces, and I want to show some other part of the config. If I try and type something like show routing options, I'm going to get syntax error. Show routing options from the top of the configuration tree would allow me to see various protocol independent config, things like static routes, router ID of the system, and so on. But the trouble is, right now, this is a syntax error, because if we reprint the banner, I'm sat parked here in protocols OSPF. But I'm lazy as ever, so maybe I want to do top show routing options static. So this is from within the context of protocol OSPF. So running that is executed as if I was at the top. So a bit of a cheeky shortcut there. If we preface our command with top, whatever command we give after that, be it a show command, a set, a delete, an activate, a deactivate, or something, it's going to be executed as if it was at the top of the configuration. So we're working away merrily here in the OSPF hierarchy, but with top, I'm able to go and interrogate some other part of the configuration without having to jump around. Again, for the lazy amongst us, it might annoy you at some point once you start getting faster with the CLI that you can't do this. You can't do edit routing options. Syntax error. I'm trying to jump from my current context, protocol OSPF. I want to jump over to the top level routing options hierarchy, but unfortunately, the edit command, which we said like CD, like navigating in a file system, can't find any sub-hierarchy to protocols OSPF, that's named routing options. So I'm sure you can all see where this is going. If I preface my command with top, edit routing options, so I'm inside of protocols OSPF, but this is going to execute as if I was at the top. So effectively it's jumping up to the top and then down the tree into the routing options hierarchy. And okay, now I can see my static routes, my router ID, or whatever other good stuff I've got there. So top, you can see is a way to move around and also temporarily change the context of show and set and delete commands we run. We do have other methods of navigating. So if we jump back down into, let's say this time one of our, let's do something like an interface. So our management interface, FXP0. So great, we can see that we've got some interface configured for our out-of-band network.